a survey project, creating surveys within Dynamics 365 using customer voice and sending some of those customer voice surveys. Right. So starting on the introduction. So what is Dynamics 365 customer voice? Dynamics 365 customer voice, what it does, it provides organizations with a powerful tool that allows them, to do surveys, to capture, analyze, information, and then really, look at the feedback from, survey participants. So it could be your customers, and you would want to find out, how you fared, in terms of, the service quality, or maybe in terms of, the products that you are giving to that particular segment of your stakeholders. And what they do is they fill in, this particular surveys or this form. It comes back, with the feedback. Once it comes back, as an organization, you then look at that information, and then you most certainly, act upon it. So considering, all the touch points where you interact with the client, creating either a positive, neutral, or negative experience is always, key when you are creating these surveys. And what you really want to capture, are those moments of truth, which sort of like generate a lasting impression on your organization. And as you gather, this feedback is something which is quite, key, crucial, and fundamental to your organization, because it gives you, a fuller picture of, what, that constituency that you would have tried to interact with, what they really feel, about your organization, or about your organization's, about the services that your organization, provide to them. And we've got, a couple of examples. And these, include, things like, after, you've given a client, your support, and, you've resolved the issue that was at hand and is being closed, or you've sold, a product to a client, and you want to get feedback to find out, we've sold you product A. It could be a vehicle, or it could be a service, and you just want to find out from, your customer or your client whether they're enjoying, that particular service. Is it fit for purpose, and things like that, and this is when you try and, establish as well, is there anything else that we can do more as an organization, to ensure that you meet your customer, at their point of need. Or it could actually be, students who are within an educational environment, and you provide them, with training sessions like we're doing now. And after the training session, you then go back to the students, and you ask them, how did we deliver the course? Did we deliver it, in a way that was, satisfying to your needs? Did we clarify things, properly to you guys? Did we give you enough examples? Did we give you enough time to do things that you wanted to do? Maybe you might have asked questions where you responded to, with satisfactory answers, and so on and so forth. So in a nutshell, those are some of the examples and experiences, that would want to probably, create a survey against. And what you really are trying to do is you're trying to capture opinions and feedback from your customers. And there are various use cases, where you can do this. And I think I've already given you some of them. Or you can use use cases of, information capture, which include, registering for an event that is being held, or requesting details about, services that are being provided, by an organization or your organization for that matter, where they complete a form, and that form, you can embed it into a website. People go onto a website, they fill in that particular form. It pops back into the organization, and then the organization will be able to see, the various sentiments regarding be it your service or products that you might be offering them. And there are various things that surveys can contain. They can contain several types of questions, and I'm sure all of us on this call, at some point, in our lives, we've had to, deal with the survey. I don't know, from just a layman's standpoint, can anyone, or has anyone, dealt with a particular service or survey, sorry, and maybe if you can give an example of where you've had to deal with, with the survey.
No, please, the question again, Dan.
Yeah. So I was saying, we all, I think we all have dealt with a survey one way or the other in life. And I just want someone just to give maybe an example where they've had to deal with the survey, and what sort of information was on that survey. I've got someone who's raised their hand, but unfortunately you haven't got a name. It's only got numbers, 8, 9, whatever the numbers are. If you
Sorry,
raise
I'm
your
going to
hand.
think it's BC.
Sorry. Yeah,
BC.
I can see you at a BC, but there's someone else. But we'll start with at the BC anyway. Go on at the BC.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Dan. Yeah. An example is during the last year graduation of Blue Sky Citadel. So we sent out a survey to know to be able to organize who are coming,
exactly,
who are not coming, and who maybe as in if you are coming, you said yes or no or maybe, and if you're not attending the ceremony, yes, no, or maybe, then your name, your I think your address was there as well. Then also, are you coming with your kids? We have yes or no or maybe. So in order for us to be able to know and organize for a particular set of people that are coming. So, and the survey really helped us to really organize for people that are coming. So yes, help us to organize for people that are coming and people that maybe, because we added maybe and yes together, because maybe is either. So in order for us to be able to be, so that we'll be able to cater for like SS people, so that we won't have shortage of maybe food or anything. So it really helped us to cater for people, and I think people came and they really enjoyed themselves. So I think we sent out that survey during graduation of last year, during winter last year.
Fantastic. Thanks for that, Adebisi. I think that was a good example. And Busola, please go ahead.
An example will be on a program that's working on at work, where we're working with different stakeholders, and we're having them to contribute to our program, and they are based in different regions within the nation. So we wanted to understand their perspective and if we have met their expectation of the program, and also to understand if there's anything they would like to see or change from our process and our approach.
All right, fantastic. So I think from those two examples, we can note that, the various things that can be, added into a survey, and the different types of questions as well that can, also be added into a survey. You've got choice questions, you've got, questions that require dates, rankings or ratings, or you just put, just a text, within, a certain box. And also Net Promoter Score, which is a metric which is used to analyze overall loyalty of customers. And what the organization is basically trying to do is they're basically trying to measure customers' perception of their organization, of their products, or of their service, by asking, how likely they'll be able to recommend friends or, colleagues, or if, they would be back for that service or another service, that's provided by that particular organization. So Dynamics 365 customer voice is included, with select D365 subscriptions, and is also available as an upgrade for Microsoft 365 subscriptions. Dynamics 365 as well, the customer service uses Power BI, to display, a summary of information with individual results in rich and real time analytics. And these are provided to show, the correlation between one or more questions, which will help organizations, realize patterns, within the responses, so that they get a better understanding of their customers. So if we look, at the slide on the screen, you can notice that, there are sort of like 4 tiles on there, where the first one you're looking at periodic customer feedback, and then the other one is customer visit feedback, or customer just, general customer feedback when a delivery is done, or customer service feedback on just general, Dynamics 365 customer service. And what are the considerations, for creating projects? There are various considerations that are done when you're trying to create, D365 customer voice projects. And also, the one thing that you really want to make note of is you want to note that what is, the exact purpose of that particular project. And also you want to make sure that who are the main stakeholders for that particular project that you need to provide info mention for. And you also need to consider other things, like what does a project, do? Does it cross over multiple departments with, a variety of needs? And, you also need to make sure that you have clear objectives in place and the deliverables that are required for that particular project. Things like who is going to provide you, the questions for that particular project. It's key to know that before you even start with the survey. What are the roles needed, and do you need any, collaboration of some sort, to ensure that that project, is a success. You also need to look at, resources like time. What are the timelines that you're looking at before, you create that project based on, the length of that particular project. And if we consider time, then there is an element of deadlines, because for anything, to work properly, it has to be sort of like time boxed. So you need to make sure that, you consider, the various deadlines and ensure that these are all established prior to creating the project, so that, you can, the project can be a success. And when it comes to the discussions, or what it is that you need to finding answers, to these questions, all those things need to be done prior to creating the project. So you have to do, a bit of planning beforehand. Careful and thorough planning has to be done prior to starting that project, so that you create a clear path and a solid plan of what it is that you're going to do. And then when you execute, it just becomes easier. All you're focusing is on execution. And when it gets to the end, you then collect your results, and then you do, whatever needs to be done, with that information. Does the organization need to act upon that information, or, do something else, that is required by the organization? So by asking, these questions first, what it helps you do is, it helps you to review the project, on a period. It helps you review the project, periodically throughout the duration, and then again at the end. And this approach, it actually helps one acknowledge that the project, has actually, achieved something, and it has given you results, and the results, you can then analyze them and, act upon them accordingly. And there are two main elements within the Dynamics 365 Customer Voice project, which are your surveys. And, with the surveys, it's actually just a project that contains one or more surveys. And then the other element is the reports. And then the reports contains, your satisfaction metrics that cover all surveys within the project. And a response overview report that is created for each survey that is added to the project. So it's two things: the surveys themselves and the reports of each survey. And there are various templates, as we saw, from the previous slide. You've got the periodic customer service feedback, the customer service feedback, visit feedback, and then just the customer feedback, and you've got the customer service feedback. And then you've got a blank template as well that you can use. So there are other elements which are included with each survey that provide, a potentially unique experience for each one. And this could be, things like determining which survey matrix to capture, customizing maybe, a thank you, and maybe a footer message right at the end, adjusting your themes and your fonts. You want to make sure that the background, does not distract, one from the core, which is for them, to input whatever values they need to put into that survey. And with good developers within an organization, you can input, cascading style sheets. So those are CSS forms. I don't know if anyone has worked with CSS forms. It's most probably, people within the development stream. So there's cascading style sheets that are used, in the web development domain. So those can be fed into your into your survey, to provide, styling on the various forms. And when you create and use variables, for personalized needs, you need that as well. And with Microsoft customer surveys, it comes, with 23 language translations, for a survey. So there's quite a lot that is inbuilt in there that you can, play with and, do a few more other things with as well to ensure that your survey goes out, and it's easy for people to interact with. And once you provide people with something that is easy to interact with, they can, in return, provide you that feedback that you require. Because I'm sure we've all dealt with forms that are not laid out, properly, difficult, to fill out, and the questions might be ambiguous. And as a human being, those are the things that sort of like put us off. And 9 times out of 10, people will shy away, from giving you the responses that you need. So at the end of the day, if you don't plan accordingly well beforehand, you might be planning to fail, because chances are people will not interact with those surveys. And once they do not interact with the surveys, ultimately you're not getting that feedback that you probably desperately need as an organization. And those insights, you won't get them. So yeah, it's always good to plan in order you make sure that whatever survey you do, it brings some results, and the whole, process can be a success. So moving back to our screen, you can see here is an example of case closure survey. And as we said earlier on, there are different types of questions that can be used, like choice, text, rating, date, ranking, and so on and so forth. And if you notice here on the form itself, the first question, there's an emoji. So someone can simply just click on an emoji, and it will denote, their mood. in terms of how they felt, you know, they were dealt with when working, you know, when someone was working on their recent case. And then the second line, we've got like a ranking system where you've got numbers ranging from 0, which is not at all likely, going all the way to 10, where probably someone is extremely likely, you know, to do something. And in this case, they're looking at someone recommending their friend or a colleague. And if someone is happy, then, you know, they will probably gravitate more on the right side, you know, of the form where the numbers are big. And if they're not satisfied, they will probably gravitate to the left-hand side where they're not likely, you know, to recommend anyone for your services or products. And on the third one, we can see that that's a text field where, you know, you've been asked a question and all you need to do is just to type in. So you just type away and you put your thoughts on there, depending on your experience and also maybe your mood. In terms of branding, you can also brand it by putting in, you know, different color schemes. So you've got theme colors that you can choose from there, and you can put, you know, different fonts, different backgrounds. You can use, you know, CSS, and you can use, you know, images and logos. You can customize, you know, your thank you messages, and so on and so forth. And also you can use branching, where, you know, you start off with one question and then you put in, you know, like a condition. So based on that response, it then, you know, gives them a follow-on question. And based on that response, you know, they can, you know, be shown another follow-on question. So you can, you know, embed branching rules within your surveys as well. And what are the variables that are used within a survey? So there are 3 or more variables that you can use. So you've got your first name, you've got a last name, or you've got the product page. So here, when you want to send, you know, a survey, as you can notice, you've got the email where that survey will be emanating from, whom you want that survey to go to, and obviously you need a title, and then you can put in, you know, some text or a link. If you've got a link, say your survey is appended onto a web page or onto a website, you can then you know, use that link, and people can just click on that link and they're taken straight to that survey, and you know, you fire it away. And then on the satisfaction metrics rather, we've got you know, the sentiments, and we've got the net promoter score. And if we notice, you know, on the screen here, with the satisfaction metrics, you use this, you know, to rank or track trends which are collected within the data, you know, per project. So depending on the ranking, you provide an overall score, which will be your net promoter score. And this helps you, you know, to see at a glance if, you know, the survey has been a success or not. And then looking at sending the surveys, you can use either email templates, with different salutations, depending on the purpose, and there are several components that you put in there, which are the things that we looked at in the previous slide here, where you put in, your to and from, your subjects, any other links that you might need to put in there, or you might even need to put in, some extra text, depending on what it is that you want the email to appear like, and you can put, your logo if it's required, or any other images as well, if they are required. And with email survey, I think we've just touched on this. So all you do is you put your contacts there, and you send it off. And when people receive the survey, they will then just fill in, the required questions. And once they complete the survey results will then pop back into your CRM, and it will then reside in the reports section. And also you can upload your CSV files within Dynamics, and you can use Excel spreadsheets, or Excel files, or you can alternatively use QR codes. And all you need to do is just to toggle that button there in your distribution setting, and it will allow you, to embed these things, or use these links, or use the QR codes. You can also embed, your surveys into a website. I think we've already talked about that. And all you need to do is just to go in there and, you enable the particular setting that you want. And you can have it, inline within the website, or you can have it, as a pop-out window, or you can alternatively have a button. So depending on your choice and what you see, being fit, you can do that, accordingly. So I think that is it with surveys at a high level. Does anyone have any questions? Does anyone have any questions from what we've just discussed? And I think the other thing, as we discussed earlier on, we might need just to go back, take a step back, and look at the various things, that can be added into solutions. But before we do that, are we all okay to proceed? If yes, then we can.
Question that, yeah. So I was just thinking, so if you within Colac, yeah, if you would want to create a survey project, where would it likely be?
So you mean within Dynamics 365 itself?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. What you would need to do if you want to create a basic project in Dynamics 365, would probably need to go onto the customer voice tile, but I'll check in our solution if we've got the customer voice tile. Just bear with me 1 second.
Okay.
But we will, even if it's not there in our solution at present, we can edit in. And
Okay.
like I said, now what we're going to be focusing more on is on the practical side of things.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we're
Okay.
actually going to do a proper attempt on this, but I'm just checking now if it was added. Seems like it wasn't added in
Okay.
here, but yeah, we will add it in.
Okay,
And
please
we'll
do.
certainly do a walkthrough of
Okay.
the whole process, end to end as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else with a question? Or any comments before we proceed?
So, out there, would this particular functionality or component, let's say, D365 customer voice, would it be a part of a project or a project on its own?
It could be both.
Okay.
So you could be in a situation where a particular organization, want to do this particular project where they want to get feedback from their customers, and they haven't been doing that.
Mhm.
And probably, an organization has relied, on word of mouth, a customer coming in and saying, you know what, I enjoy, coming and shopping here. And your service has been great. That's why, I'm your loyal customer. But as an organization, you would really want to, widen or spread that net so that, you capture voices of people, that far and wide, and that are using your service. And that by capturing, their voice, it gives you an insight, on what they feel about, the service that you're providing to them. And it's those sentiments that, as an organization, you then work on. And once you work on those sentiments, you then decide, do we need to maintain the quality of service that we are, giving out to our customers, or do we need, to maintain the quality of products that we are selling to our customers? Do we need, to increase quality? Do we need to increase, customer service that, we're providing? So depending on the sentiments that you get back, you then, work, accordingly. Or you could work on, it could be even a new implementation where maybe a new organization is coming onto Dynamics 365, and they maybe want, a sales module where they are selling, they are using, for their sales activities. But at the same time, being an organization which is selling to people, you would also want to make sure that, at certain intervals, you are interacting with your customers and you are getting that feedback, and you see, what your customers feel about your organization.
Yeah. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, because
Alright.
we do quite a lot of surveys. Yeah, on the internship, and now I'm thinking that it would be good for us to have access to this particular component so that we can play around with it as well and see how we can use it as part of the tool that we use compared to us using the Google form, Google survey forms, and see the differences and what this one does better than Google form for us. That's just my thought.
Indeed, and yeah, I would concur with you on that one. That this would probably be a powerful tool in your case, where you can simply just create surveys. You send them to your target audience or to your targeted constituency, and they provide you with their various feedback. You look at the reports which summarize the sentiments that have come through as feedback, and then you can act as in how you see fit based on that information. I think, like you were saying earlier on, you've done one previously where you were looking at people wanting to know how many people are going to be coming, and which then leads on to be able to plan on the amount of food and drinks or anything else, other provisions that you might want to make for those people. Yeah, so it's a powerful tool, and I think you certainly got a use case for that. Okay. Anyone else with any other question? If not, let me see if I can share my screen. And then we talk about various data types that we have. I think at this point, let me see who else is.
Hello.
Hi, Deji.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I was talking. I didn't know that you did not hear me.
No, sorry, we couldn't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was asking that do we have a code snippet for the survey when it's done? For some other survey applications, when you finish, you can have this code snippet that you can copy in form of HTML that you can put on your website, and then the forms just displays like that on your web page.
Yep.
How can we do that?
Yeah, that is something that you can do. And I think we did speak about it earlier on, where I was saying that you can embed it maybe onto a web page as a URL, or or you can just put a little link on there where when someone clicks on there on the website, the form then pops out and then they can fill in the form.
Yeah, I was talking about embedded code, right? So that will not be a link, but will only just display the form on your page.
Yep, you can do that. You can certainly do that.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yep. So if you notice here, this is what I was talking about.
Okay,
You can
okay,
have that
brilliant.
there,
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
And then you can have the links, or you can have the QR codes as well if you wish.
Okay, cool.
Mhm. One thing I was wanting to do, Deji, is it possible you can give one of the developers, make them a host so that they can share their screen? Because I think we need to talk about solutions,
Yeah,
but I would
anyone can
want
share that, you know.
someone from them, driving it.
Yeah, anyone can share the screen. Yeah, there is already some created solutions. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I think we will just continue using those ones anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyone that wants to share their screen can do so now. I'll enable
Right.
that.
So anyone from the developers, please feel free, to share your screen. I'll stop sharing. And
Okay, I can share my screen, but I need to log on to a system.
okay, yeah, that's fine. Please do. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Because I think where we're at now, I would be more comfortable with the developers driving this now.
So I'm logging on my desktop. I'm using my phone initially. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. You can use your credentials, and once you log in, then share your screen and then go into solutions, and we pick one of the solutions that you're working on already.
Okay.
And whilst we're waiting for that, I know we did speak about components that are contained in a solution. Does anyone still remember what components go into a solution?
Tables.
Yeah, that's correct.
Flowcharts, documents.
Flowcharts, I'll give it to you.
Forms, contact
Correct.
forms, account.
Yeah.
Views.
Correct. So we've got web resources as well. We've got option sets that we spoke about earlier on. We've got plugin assemblies and a few more other things. Great, we can see your screen now. So I think what we need now is then to go into your solutions.
Okay, sorry.
No problem.
I'm working for leads, and basically what we did, because we've already worked on some of we created a lead already, and one of the team member did an activities created activities on follow-up to be able to a company, which is Blue Sky Citadel. Then then what we then the team member, which is Tosin, wrote everything and copied me as if, okay, I'm the company that will receive it and see the proposal is sending to me.
Yep.
So, and I was able to receive it. So this was it. So this was, you can see this BC. So he copied me. So this was the one, because he wanted to purchase, want to talk to me about house purchase. And I received he did it on his own using another login details. Then this is my own details as well, which is different from where he sent it from. Then I was able to view it, and this is what he wrote. This is what he wrote, and I responded that, okay, hi Tosin, thank you for your email. So I wouldn't know if he's going to see my message in his own mail, because we've not had any meeting after that. So so basically, I think that we were able to. Let me just reduce this one. We're here. I think it's lead. I want to see where we are. This thing should come up now. So this is this. So he created a lead. This is. I wanted to create it, but he did, and I was able to get his message. And when I click on my own, his message was on my timeline.
Indeed.
Which is part of the follow-up. He wanted to he wanted to discuss with me that he sent a purchase to someone like that. And I think this is just the first thing we have done. We've not gone in details. So then one question we wanted to ask is, because we used email, that is it possible to, when we want to use related, is it possible when we want to create our follow-up, which is under activities, is it possible for us to, like, if it's loading, it can't load for me, but it can load for my team members. So when it's loading here, there will be email features for email, telephone number, fax, book an appointment. So our question is it possible for us to be able to, we did email now, the last one we did was email, for us to do phone number, at the same time, did phone number, then or peradventure book an appointment, send an email to a company, do a phone number and book an appointment at the same time. Now, is it possible for us to do that? But we are just thinking out of box. Is it possible for us to do that as a follow-up?
Yeah, you can certainly do that. So if you look in the activities, there's various activities, that can be added in there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's multiple activities that you can add to the timeline. So if you click that plus button there, if you go in the timeline and click that plus button,
okay.
So you notice there's various activities there.
Okay.
So you've got the email activity, you've got the meeting, you've got the phone call task, customer voice alert, and any sessions, and you've got notes as well.
Wow.
So,
wow.
For instance, if we take the task, you've been doing whatever interaction that you've been doing there, right?
Yes.
And then maybe you get to a point where you think, at this point you want it done, to be able now to go ahead and call Omega C.
Okay.
Who's the lead? I'm just using names that I can see on the screens here. You can then create a task, and if I'm working within your organization, and you can pass me that task, and then I will be it'll pop up on my time on my screen, and I can then do whatever it is that needs to be done. Or you can even create a task for yourself to say, maybe at the end of the month, this is when we need to call this person again to arrange for XYZ. So you can use those tasks. So those are some of the things that you can use or you can exploit, which are already inbuilt within the system.
Okay.
I have a question, Dan.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, ADBC. Okay, please. I just wanted to, if you can close this, task pane. Yeah, thanks. I just want to see your full screen. Okay, so I'm just asking this question so that the BAs on the call, for the other team, Zeta team and the BAs. So, say me wearing a BA hat now, if I want to write an end-to-end user journey of a lead. So what we have here, from the point where I create a new lead, and that new lead I've created is visible, then I have another step. So when I qualify the lead, so at what point would I know from creating this lead here on the screen, what would give me the status? Where can I view the status to say that lead has been qualified?
So can you come again with your question? So you've got a lead that has been created.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I'm looking at this the workflow at the top here.
Yep.
So a lead has been created. Okay. And I'm able to view that lead.
Yes.
So the next step here says qualify. So I believe qualify is an action that needs to be done.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And where do I qualify the lead? And where do I get to say this lead is not qualified? Because they've created a single lead now. And I believe that they can write a multiple story just to set up data for the purpose of testing or something, to set up multiple leads and then qualify some and not qualify some. So where do we see that? How do we recognize that? Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at the top there, Adebisi,
Yeah.
if you push your cursor up a little bit more, yep, and then go to your right slightly. There you go.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, okay. All
Mhm.
right. So I guess, so do we have the workflow displayed on each of the solutions we've created based on the functional areas? Because I guess the end-to-end process, is what we really want to achieve for each of the team and the functional areas that they've been assigned. Yeah, and is that, well, so whether you're a functional consultant or a developer, a scrum master, or a PA, it's just we want everyone to be able to get their head around the particular functional area that they are working in, even when they are playing around with this and we are making new discoveries on the application itself. So Adibisi, I think you are fine with where you've started and you can continue from there with your team. I think if other people with their own solutions, if there's any other person here, I would suggest that we still have a few more minutes, so if they can share their screen as well. Yeah.
So I think maybe whilst I've got Adebisi on there, Adebisi, have you been working with solutions inside of Dynamics 365?
No.
No, okay.
Yes.
I want someone who's worked with solutions. Do we have someone who's worked with solutions or who is working with solutions?
I don't think so.
No, we just learned about solutions yesterday, but
Okay.
it's opened in the Power Apps on my screen now.
All right. Can you share your
I might be the only one. I think I've got one.
Okay.
Did you say to share or?
Yeah, you can share.
Okay.
Fantastic. So we are now in the area that we've got solutions. So for all the developers, this should be your playground on a day-to-day basis, because that's where you do, majority of your work. And if anything, you should have, this page open at all times, because that's where you do majority of your work. So do we have a solution in there that you're working with currently?
So like I said, we have not started this, but
that's fine. That's all right then. So in that case, you can notice that there's a lot of things that can be added. So if you go on to add new right at the top, not that one, add existing, sorry. Yes. So you can notice that we might have our solution, but that's where we add any existing components that are already, within Dynamics 365. And we can add them, from there. If you've got tables that are existing, you just click on tables, select the table that you want, to add in there, and then you add it into your solution. So for now, let's just do, something quickly. So if you go maybe onto a contact, so go to existing again.
Oh, okay.
And then table. And then I'll show you another way, a quick way. On the top far right, you've got the search table. So just type in the name of the table. Like that, there you go. So if you click on it, and then I edit.
So yesterday they said not to include all objects, that we've got to select, I think.
Yeah, go on as you explained to yesterday. So if you do that, what you're simply doing now is on the contact entity, you are only saying you want to bring in a first name. And I think it'll be easier for you if you just bring everything in.
So like full name.
Whatever. No, not the full name. So go back a step.
I think what she's trying to do was to select the one that he actually wants, so that
just that one.
No, as in maybe first name, last name, then
all right,
address,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So without having to import everything that, or maybe it's the other way around, import everything and remove the one you don't want.
It all depends, with your scenario. If you know exactly what you want, you can simply just do that. But
I think for them, right, they know as a PO, right, I don't know what I want, but I just want a form, right, that accept contacts. As a BA, they know what a contact should have, right?
Exactly.
So I'm going to be putting those details in, right, to actually meet what I want, so that when we have contact for Blue Sky, we are going to use this particular form for them to be able to, capture that detail, right? So yeah, like for instance, for Blue Sky, we might need address 1, right? We might not need address 2, address 3. Do you get it now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then the next will be city and country. I'm just kind of, I didn't give them this full information because I want them to, get it out as well by themselves anyway. But so
can I say that we created one in the legacy app, and we were told yesterday that we won't be using this any longer. So we're able to come in here to go into contact and create a proper form.
Yeah, the legacy would be going.
Yeah.
Hence you've got that message at the top which says, you know what, try to customize it using this particular form that you're using. And this is where everything is being shifted to. So I would say for the purposes of progress, always make sure you work from this area, not from the legacy side, because that's eventually going to go. It's getting deprecated.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can select whatever fields you want to select, and yeah.
And you need city as well, which is ups and country. Yeah.
And I think whilst you're there, if you notice, you've got address 1, but you are selecting a city for address 2. So just make sure when you are selecting the values of the display names, especially on the addresses, because I think it can hold 3 addresses.
Ah, okay.
So make sure that when you are selecting the first address, everything has to say address 1, phone number, or address 1, whatever it is. If you mix and match, you are taking from different, areas.
Okay.
Mhm.
And also, if for instance, the other one has got like zip code and postcode, right? For the UK, we use postcode, right?
Correct.
How do we change that to say, I don't care about zip code because I'm not American, right? So, but so that it only shows, okay, maybe when we see the form, we're going to see how it looks like anyway. For the sake of time, let's see what you've done now. I think it's going to be continuation from that one anyway.
Yeah, just a couple of fields will do.
So I've added 6 columns.
Yep.
Uh-oh. Okay. So this is address. Ah.
Yeah. So you've got address 1, and then you've got the postcode, and then you've got the region. But if you notice, like I was saying, for the region, country and region, you are selecting from address 2. So just make sure next time you're working on this, that you would be picking out from
1. Yeah.
From 1, because take for instance, I've only got 1 address. I don't have 2 addresses, and I give my address to you, but for the country you selected region 2, I would not have filled in my details, for the second address. So that means my country will not be showing, even though I've put it, into your database.
So how can I go back and edit here?
Yeah.
No.
There's edit at the bottom, right?
You've got the edit button right there where it says
right,
columns.
On the left one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the same thing.
Yeah, you can then edit that column. I think it's the first, yeah. So yeah, that's fine. So we've hidden those. So maybe let's work with this, what we've got now.
Okay.
Well, now, Dan, how do you now display this in a form, right? Because the major thing that they need to do is not even the table, is the form to capture those information.
So what we'll do is, we've created a solution. We've put in, the contact. We'll then need to go into the solution, and then we pick out the contact. It would show us components of that contact. There will be a form on there, and then we can play around with the form as well.
Okay, but do you want to do that? Do you want to save this one? And
there's no what do I say?
So basically what you're seeing here are the records in the system. So this is not the form you're seeing here.
Yeah.
This is the records in the system. So like Dan mentioned, you need to go to the solution to be able to see the actual table and the forms.
And Alex, so what you did this for? So as in, how would you use this one? Is it like, okay, I just want to see list of the contact, then I create a table like this, then everybody can see what these are. So rather than having to see it on the forms, is that the purpose of using this like that, like a grid, right?
You can use it in that use case. Most people use this to come here and just do a bulk edit of these records actually. You can actually edit the records themselves.
Okay, rather than going to each of the forms and views to
yes, edit. Correct.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah.
So where do I save this now?
So you don't need to save anything. These are records already saved.
Those are records.
So
go on, Alex. So.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, like Dan said, go to the solution and then open the table. Go ahead, Dan. Apologies, I had to dive in.
No, it's all right. It's all right, Alex, because I think it's something that you were working with yesterday. So your voice will be important on this as well.
Yes. Yeah, so on the left-hand side, if you see you got tables and you have one.
Yeah.
Can you see you got contact there? So
yeah.
If you click on, you can click it from there. You can also click it from the left-hand side.
Oh, okay.
So while you are here, can you see the important thing here for you is the table properties?
Yeah, but we are
where your
interested in the table yet. We're interested in the form because, for instance, if this is a vanilla one without any table, right? So is the form that you use to create the data, right? So the first thing is the form that we need to create first.
So if you go further up, if you scroll further up, please.
That's the
and under the properties area. So we want to go to where the properties is. And now can you see where it says data experiences?
Okay.
If you click where it says forms for me, please.
I can't see.
On the right hand side.
Sorry, Alex. Can we start from the solution, right? So that everyone knows how to create the form because they might need to create it as well.
So you can create it this way. So with this unified interface now, there's quite a few options you can use to create it. So this option allows you to do it. The other option, we can go back to it. It will just basically expand that left-hand side panel.
Okay, so for this, do you first need to create a table first, or you can just go to the table, contact, then you go to the form and you create a form for that?
So if you are using the out-of-the-box table, you basically just add the table to your solution file, and then you can create the form afterwards. Okay. Because the form is dependent on the table.
Okay.
What do you want me to do here?
So at this point, you can create a form or you can add an existing one. So it just depends exactly what you want to do at this point.
So let's say for now, let's use an existing main contact form, because usually that's what you deal with.
Mm-hmm.
There's two types of forms, the quick create form, the quick view forms, or the main forms. So I think for the purposes of this demonstration, maybe let's start with a main form. So if you scroll up slightly where it says contact and up a little bit more. Yep. So on there, can you notice under the form type, it tells you what type of a form it is.
Main, yeah.
Yeah. And that's the form, let's say for argument's sake, that we want to create for now. So that's the form that you select, and then we move from there.
Okay, but this is the one we created for Omega A.
Yes, so that, yes, you can do that, but remember, this is only a quick create form. If you for quick create form, what it does is, it's a mirror of the main form, but it's only got a less number of fields that are contained on the main form. And a quick create, what it usually does, it captures values that are key and important, on a main form, but not all the other fields.
Yeah, and to be
So-
honest, this is coming to me now, Alex. I remember 10 years ago when we were working together, I think most of the developers will use these quick create because that gives you the small entities or the field that you want, and then you will be able to add the other ones. Because if you use the main one, right, then you might need to do a lot of removing, and did you get it now? So if that makes
Yep.
sense, then yeah.
But how come it's showing unmanaged here? Is it because it was created in the legacy Power?
So it's unmanaged because it's a form that you're building from scratch. And remember the unmanaged, managed ways that we used when we're talking about solutions. So it's the same principle.
Okay. It's not coming up.
Bear with me one sec. So if we go on to so the form is not showing.
No.
If you go into your contact, you've got table contact forms.
Yeah.
Yeah, click on there.
Or do you want me to refresh instead?
Refresh, yeah, let's see.
Okay, it's here now.
Yeah. So if you click open that form, you should be able to see the form. So now, because we started off with the main form, and as Deji was saying, you can see on the left-hand side, you've got all the columns that are there. And right in the middle there is a preview of the form. That is the main form that is already inbuilt within the system. And as Deji was saying, that it would come with, all sorts of values, and you probably need to rework it by hiding and removing some of the fields that are already on there.
And this is where we'll get to do that. Say I want to remove facts. No.
So for that one, that is already, those are fields which are not on the form. But yeah, on there, those are the fields that are on the form.
Okay. So you just need to click on the one that you don't want and hide, right? And it takes the off, right?
I'm not able to type in it first.
No, I don't think you're typing on anything, right? Because this is a form here. You're actually developing this form.
Oh,
yes, it's only a form preview.
It's not a form that you can fit something in. Right?
Yeah, okay.
So this is the back end. So where you can fit those things in is the front end. After you built it, then you can. That's what the user is gonna do. But this you developing that form actually. So what you can do, like what Dan is saying, you click on a particular field, right? And for instance, if you click on a field, let's say prefix, for instance, right? You don't want prefix, we don't care about that. Then you go to the right of your screen and you can say hide, right?
Okay.
Exactly like that.
So
You know, if there's
ideally what you want to
anything
do,
else, go on, Alex.
sorry, ideally what you want to do, if you don't want the form, you don't want to hide the field, you want to remove it. If you hide it, that impacts on performance.
All right, good. So okay, this is coming. So actually, so for the ID one, you can use it for this guild, right? All those what's it called? ID that you want to use in other forms, right? That you don't want to be visible to other users, but you want to store something in that, right? Are you using other places? I don't know whether I've explained it that much anyway. So
yes, that's clear. So if you want to hide it from other users, that's where you start using field level security or column security, which is say if you have that specific column security, you're able to see that field. If you don't have it, you just don't see it.
Oh, okay. No, that's not what I was even looking for. Let's say, for instance, now, maybe this is coming to development level, right? So I've kind of entered something, then at the back of that, I can say this value is equal to this. But because that particular field is not visible, right? I just stored my data inside that particular field, right? But that field is not open, right? Then I can go to another form, right, and use that particular field, the data stored in that particular field in this. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, so with that use case, what you have is a business rule. So you can use a business rule, which is to control what happens when a field is updated or created or deleted. So it can populate the hidden field. And then if you have access to see the field in a different form, the field will be exposed with the value which has been populated.
That's what I was thinking about. Yeah, awesome.
Should I hide birthdays and?
It said remove, right? So how do you remove?
So you just hit delete on your keyboard.
Delete is.
So if you do delete, if you do delete here, it's not going to take it away from the system. It's just taking away from the form.
On my keyboard, I removed the delete when I bought it.
Yeah, so if once you highlight it like that, if you just do delete, you will take it out.
Should we try?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, go 100% right. You won't lose it. It will still stay there. You just go on the left hand side.
18. No, it's not answering. No.
Is it not responding? If it's not responding, there's another option you can use. Right at the top where it says form settings, you got those three dots, the three dots next to it. If you click onto them, it's not active. So basically what's happening here, that field is not alive or it's not active. So if you click onto it again for me.
How about I click? Right.
And can you see where it says form field right above that? Next to it, you got the delete option. So where you are, if you just keep going left, left,
you've got that little bin.
Yeah, if you click on there, it takes it out.
Okay.
So now you've taken it out here. If you refresh your page, it should appear on the left-hand side. So the first thing you need to do is to save it. So don't leave the page, stay on the page. And then on the right-hand side, say save. Right-hand side, save. Yep, and then after the save, we can now refresh it.
Okay.
Because of time, should we just check this form? I'm eager to see how it's going to look like.
Yep, so it's now saved. So how you tell it's saved, the save button is not alive anymore because it knows there's no more changes. So if you just do a refresh on this page now.
So I will have to stop and refresh.
Yeah, so once you do a refresh, I just want you to have a look on the left-hand side. you can basically search for it instead of scrolling down that list. If you go on search on the left-hand side after the refresh, so scroll down, left, down, not there, further down, then go to the left-hand side, please.
Where it says table columns, on your left-hand side, left top,
Yeah.
Above,
there's a
just,
search area.
yeah, you can search in there.
Um,
So if you remember the field we got rid of, if we search for it, I think it was
Yes.
birthday, there it
Yes,
is.
there it is.
okay. Yeah.
So
sure.
now that's done. The next thing to do now, for you to have your changes to reflect on the front end, which is what the user will see to be able to start putting those records, you
Mhm.
need to publish the changes. When you publish, you're saying you're satisfied with your development. Let me go and check what it looks like at the front.
Oh,
If you're not
but-
satisfied, you can come back here and do the same.
But Alex, if I don't want to publish, right, but I just want
Yeah.
to see it, right, because by publishing means other people will see it. As a developer, I don't want to publish, but I just want to see what I've got, right? Because that's a good way to know, right? I know most developer will just publish like that, which is no best practice, right? You want to see it first before publishing, right?
So
Exactly.
if you don't want to take the approach to publish, you basically just save it and stay at save.
Okay, but if I click on save and I go to the front end, would I not see there on the changes?
There's two things here. I just need to get back to you on that because one of them, if you're working with the unmanaged solution and managed solution, one of them shows and the other one doesn't. So I just need to find
Okay.
out
I
which
got what you
one
mean.
because with the managed solution, you don't actually publish the solution. It
Mm.
publishes itself in the background. With the managed, you have to do it yourself manually. So I just need to check what is the operation in the background when you make that change.
Okay. It's not even the publishing. I'm actually talking about the fact that I just saved it. I don't want to publish because with publishing, it means that the user can see it, right? And basically it's like what development we go, we say, okay, this particular feature has gone live, but I don't want it to go live because I'm not sure it works, right?
If you are in the development environment is only for developers. So if it's a live project in scenario, the functional consultants don't even get access to this environment.
Oh,
It's
okay.
only
I get
for
what you mean.
developers only.
Okay,
The
so you
the
just
QA
be
themselves, they don't get access to this. This is only someone
okay.
who's doing development. That's it.
Okay, so you just be publishing on your environment then. So what happens after you finish? So do you kind of export your solution, right, to another environment, right?
Yeah, so with this way of working we have in this project at the moment where we have multiple solutions, different developers, different teams, what you then have is a forward environment, which is called a staging environment.
Okay.
So while you have your staging environment, the developer takes their solution as managed into that staging environment, they deploy it. Once they finish deploying their changes, when they do publish, they then delete their solutions because there are core solutions which will be there in staging. Then
So
from there,
hold on, Alex. So by
Yeah.
deploying, you mean they export the solution into another environment, right?
export the solution to another environment.
Okay.
In some cases, you can just do it through a pipeline, automated to
yes.
say, okay, I finished,
Okay.
take it there. Once it's in the staging environment, you then have a 4 eyes concept whereby the development lead goes and validates
Okay.
if the development meets the coding standards for the organization. And then from there, the release gates start opening up to go to the forward environments when everyone is ready.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So how do I go back to the normal page? The front end.
The front end,
URL, right.
For the front end, you need to type in the URL for the
So I'll send that to you now. Yeah,
so this one should be D365 training 2023.crm11.microsoft.uk. Not .com, I mean not UK.com. CRM11 stands for UK, by the way. 11 is UK. If you ever see F4 in your
Yeah, that's the one.
project, if you ever see F4 in your project, you're talking about Europe. So for a business analyst, it's important if you're going for a new project to understand what those numbers stand for, because you start talking about data residence now. I start talking about things like GDPR. Should we store our data in Europe? Should we keep it in the UK? So every single region has a number, and those numbers are available online. You can just simply go check it online. Those numbers, they are there.
I think we.
Alex, I have a question. Who defines the development standard?
The coding standards, right?
Yeah, the coding standards, yeah, for your company.
The Scrum team.
Yeah, I think on part it's just the code review. That's what it's called anyway. So the
Yeah.
development team, all right. So when you, I think the dev lead kind of start that, they put it in their Confluence page or any page that, okay, this is how we want to do. Yeah,
That's correct.
Yeah. So then after that, you know, when you do pull request, basically, right? Yeah, that your dev lead will look at that and someone will look at that. I think that's the before I checked that Alex was talking about. In the pull request, you look at the coding standard. Did the person meet coding standard before you approve their pull request? And that's where the pipeline gets kind of, propagated or published to a different environment. Yeah.
Okay, so thanks everyone, for all your contributions. But I think, as I said, from next week, Thursday, I think we'll be playing around in solutions. I think there is a lot that we need to learn in there, and we're going to learn. So anyone who is going to be coming onto the follow-on sessions, please make sure you've got your laptop or PC ready, because it's all going to be practical work. And I think hands-on, even though you might be, a BA, it'll be good as well just to follow through on what is being done, on your own behind the scenes, because it gives you better insights and better understanding of the product itself. So even when you go for your jobs, you'll be able to speak with authority because you've done these things, at a practical level, vis-a-vis just talking, from a BA perspective, where you're just saying, you know what, we need X, Y, Z, these are the solutions. But if you've worked on a particular project, you would have a good understanding of what the product does, what its capabilities are. So conscious of the time, maybe is there anyone with any other questions, maybe quick questions that we can take before we call it a day?
I do, sorry. The form that Busola created now, so I checked, I couldn't see it actually. So Busola, do you want to share your screen? Let's see if you can see that form, just to see what you.
Yeah, I've also been looking for it since. Yeah, let me share.
Please.
So I've come into Dynamics, it's not there.
So I think you need to open one of the records, right?
So if you open one of the records, any of the contacts.
So are we looking for a quick create form here, right?
I don't think it's good.
No, it's the main one.
Yeah.
I think the form that we were looking at was it a main form?
Yes,
It was a quick create form.
It was
No,
a quick create.
it
So
was
if you
No,
go,
I think there's one quick create one. There's one main one as well. So this one is the main one, right?
Yeah, it's the main.
This one here is not a main form. This is a quick create form.
Is it? Okay.
Yes. This is a quick create form. If you go on the front end, if you go back to the front end, and if you click on the top right hand side.
Oh, I think I closed it.
Oh no. Sorry if I said something wrong. I apologize.
I'm going to quickly go back and
It's on the chat anyway. Check the chat. The Zoom chat. I send on the Zoom chat. Check, not this one. Check the Zoom chat.
So if we just put D365 training 2023.
Okay. Yeah, that's
There it is. So now you need to change the app you are in. So the moment you are in the app for Outlook. So if you click where it says Dynamics 365 app for Outlook in the blue ribbon at the top, you can say okay to this, you can disregard this. So click where it says Dynamics 365 app for Outlook. Yeah, click on there. And then I'll click that application. And then on the top right-hand side, can you see there's a plus sign near your cog?
yeah.
At this point, if you click that, it will give you the option for the tables. So if you say contact, it will open that contact form you were customizing. So if you see in here, where are we? We're on the contact, we shouldn't see birthday anymore. And this is what
those are
we're
the
adding.
fields you created, yeah.
Are you sure? Because that one is kind of smaller than this, right?
Yeah, so if you go to the back end to look at the main form, you have more fields than what we have at the moment.
Oh. Okay.
So this here, if you go into forms, so you can click on the left-hand side, there, expand the contact and go into forms. And then if you open this, this is the main form, yeah.
Yeah, it's the main form. I know that's why I picked.
Okay, that's fine. We'll go and find it. If you go back to the front end for me, please.
Yeah, but what? Let's hold on. Okay. All right. So, all right, cool. That's fine. Yeah. So I just want to also know that how do we differentiate this particular form from the other ones, right? So is it
If
by
you notice,
name, contact, or what?
yeah, if you notice on the form, it will denote what form it is. So if you close that one down and we go back to the back end where we were,
Okay.
when you look at the forms, it will tell you what form it is. So if you, shrink it a little bit more, yeah.
If
Right.
you click into
So
summary, right? Because it was showing a few minutes ago on the right-hand side.
yeah, what I was wanting to do is if we go back into what you call it, to the table, and then we go onto the form again, that way, go back. Yeah, so whilst you're there, go into forms. Whilst you're there, it shows you what form type it is. So if you notice on there, it denotes what the form is.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
it's a quick create, it will tell you if it's a quick create. And if you add or you try to create a new form, like we saw earlier on, it will tell you, it will give you a list of the forms that are already in there. Say, for instance, we're looking at adding existing forms. It will show you the full list of forms that are in there and what type they are, each form. Yes.
Okay.
So if you notice in there, the form type, there's various forms that you can add in there. The quick view forms, the quick create, the main form. You can do cards as well, and the quick view forms.
Okay. Can we change the name of that contact form to something that we can recognize? And then let's go and view the front end. No, if you go back, close this screen. Yeah. Yeah, change the name. Yeah, edit that one. And display name, right? Yeah. Okay. And change the first name to something that we can easily recognize as well. The first name, click on the first name. All right. Yeah, change it to maybe, yeah, my first name or something like that. At least we know it's different. Yeah, on the label. If you go to the label on the right.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to choose the right thing.
Yeah, it's already highlighted, isn't it? Yeah. Just my first name, Ade. Okay, all right, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. So let's save and publish. Okay.
Should it be here now?
Maybe you need to refresh. Oh. I thought we could go to contact and open one of the records and
Yeah.
check the form.
Yeah, I think that's certainly what we need to do. So
Okay,
go into
cool.
contacts and then change the view from your active contacts maybe to just all contacts. Open one of the contacts. There you go. That's the
Oh,
form there.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. All right. So does that mean now the main contact is one that's changed, right? That means
Yeah, so it's the main
automatically.
contact form that we were playing around with.
Oh, so if you don't want to change that and you want to create a duplicate of that, right? Is that also is possible, isn't it? Because
Very possible.
okay,
yeah.
all right, cool. Okay. All right, I think it's fine anyway, because the main contact is the one that is displayed by default, isn't it?
Yes, you can have it displayed by default, but I think it's always good for the main contact to have all the relevant fields that you need. And should you need maybe a different form but with less fields, then you just create a mirror of the main form but with less fields.
Yeah,
because it will be easier if you need to do any development and you've got one form that you can reference and it's got all the fields on there.
Yeah, I would think on the other way around. I would think that your main form, right, is the one that the user are particular about. There's no point displaying spouse name, spouse address when as a user I don't care. But if there's other form that's got all those details, then that should be secondary, not the main. Do you get what I mean? In terms of functionality, right? What do I want to see as a main user?
Yeah,
that should be the
though it may be a main form, but I think it's only terminology because it now depends on what the people are going to see.
Yes,
because you've got different people in different departments. People in finance might not be interested in all the other information that's on on this form because they only want to see certain fields. And then you could have people in a different department, maybe for argument's sake, in a university, you've got, maybe the well-being department, they've got certain fields that they want to see, maybe that deal with someone's mental health and stuff like that, and sensitive fields that contain sensitive information. Or you've got maybe the registration department, but those are more likely to want to see everything at the beginning. You see what I mean? So it all depends. Yeah, it all depends, with setup of the organization. So it will not be a question to say a main form is what everyone is going to use within the organization. You can also use a form-based setup within an organization where you say, yes, we're all harvesting information from database, but for maybe the finance department, we only want to expose these fields to them because that's what makes sense to them. So when they go in there, they will not even see all the rest of the forms. They're only exposed to that one particular form.
Yeah.
If you then move on to another team, maybe marketing team, they're interested, seeing, another subsection of the form, and you only expose, the relevant fields that they want to see.
Yeah, that makes sense. For instance, some people might not want to see any timeline.
Exactly. Because to them, it doesn't even make any sense to them. Yeah, depending, on their job and their workload, on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else from anyone?
Yeah, I have a question, please.
Yeah, sure, go on.
Yeah, is it possible to override the default mandate field? And if yes, how can we do
that? Do you have a use case why you would want to override those fields?
Okay, let's say we have already like the first name, last name, it's a mandate, and probably want to introduce another field to be a mandate.
Yeah, you can certainly do that. On the forms, you can do that. And I think for the sake of brevity, it's already 17 past, but I can make a note, and that will be one of the things that we'll probably look at in the next session.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
But that is very possible. And you all do that through solutions. So whilst we're working in solutions, hold that thought, and let's bring it up in the next session. That is very possible. Anything else from anyone? Okay, in that case, we'll probably end it here today. And like I said, for the next upcoming lessons, please make sure you've got a device ready that you can log into as we play around, with the system. Because I think from now on, it's probably going to be more hands-on than anything else. So I would say thank you everyone for joining, and have a good evening wherever you are, or good afternoon. And we'll catch up with you next week, same time, same place. Bye-bye for now.
Bye. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks again. Bye.